Hello everyone, my name is Maddie Guyton and I am part of the Teen Council at the Contemporary Arts Museum Houston. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch this year's teen fashion show, which is centered around the rise of masks within the fashion industry. Everyone is wearing masks these days, from N95s to blue medical masks to other fashionable alternatives. Because masks have become so prevalent in today's world, every teen featured in our show is seen wearing one with their outfit in order to highlight the way masks have changed the way people style and accessorize. Please enjoy CAMH's Teen Council fashion show.
Hi, my name is Marisol Lena. I am 13 years old and I am in 8th grade. I'm here today to show my love of fashion with the Contemporary Arts Museum. Today I'm wearing a bright yellow mask with a Black Lives Matter symbol on it, and paired with that I have, starting at the bottom, bright yellow Doc Martens boots, paired with rolled down crew white socks. Then I have a black blue skirt to match with a very masculine Hawaiian shirt from Old Navy with hot color chameleons and a pink background. Then for jewelry, I have a collection of random bracelets, a pendant from my tita, which is aunt in Tagalog, which means love and prosperity in northern Filipino cultures. And then with that, I have black studs with zippers on them, which I wear almost every day.
Hello everyone, my name is Selena Ramos and I'm a Teen Council member at the Contemporary Arts Museum Houston. Today, I'm joined with Garner Lazar-Pope for Teen Council's annual fashion show. Garner Lazar-Pope is a senior student at High School for Performing and Visual Arts. Garner's work was a part of last year's fashion show exhibition, but due to current events, wasn't able to be exhibited. Teen Council wanted to highlight work from last year's show and follow up on their art today. So Garner, how have you been?
I've been great, Selena. Things have been going surprisingly well for being in a pandemic for a year now.
That is very amazing to hear. I'm very glad that it's going good. So, what's the inspiration behind the Get Along sweater?
So a lot like the Get Along sweater, a lot along with the rest of my work, a lot of my work is majorly inspired by fiction and movies. The Get Along sweater was inspired by this idea of a dystopian or utopian, depending on how you look at it, kind of like a playful version of a dystopian future in which a government or like a corporation which acts as a government forces like happiness on its like citizens, basically, with like forcing them to get along with the Get Along sweater. It's like a mandated thing.
Yes, that's so interesting. Okay, so what drew you to use fashion for this piece?
There are a lot of different products that this like company could have produced to like enforce happiness, but I think that cloaking it as like a wearable piece, wearing a like it's kind of a you need clothing, you need to find a way to present yourself to the world, um, and fashion fits in well with that. It also goes along with the consumerism I saw growing up in the 2000s. 2000s consumerism was like really a big thing. Clothing was a really big thing, and it's left a mark on me. It just seemed really fitting for the theme.
Yeah, definitely. And it definitely has like a idea around like teen culture and satirizing it because of the way consumerism uh, makes it so that they can profit off an identity and an experience like growing up. So, can we hear about your design and construction process for the Get Along sweater?
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of like classical like construction, like garment construction like skills. I mainly do what people call upcycling, which is basically I take some already like constructed garment pieces, like shirts, like the Get Along sweater, and I alter them in some way with my basic sewing skill set. So I basically took three almost identical red like long sleeve sweaters. They're like men's sweaters, like big. Cut off the like if they had like a gathered like scrunchy like wrist, I would like get rid of that, and basically I just sewed the hands together so they were like holding hands. The initial design had kind of a tubing system between them so that it would be even more like movement availability, like between the people, so it really was like a thing you could wear anywhere. But that didn't really pan out either, so I just ended up sewing them together, and the simpler design actually worked a lot better. Just something I didn't anticipate was a simpler route would be better.
I'm very glad to hear that a simpler route was able to work. I think that the piece came out great, and it definitely shows your like nature towards making art, which is like going in at it and like starting and then creating from where you like start. So yeah, I think it's a very beautiful piece. So tell us more about the universe you've constructed into your art's narrative.
So the universe has changed a lot since I made the Get Along sweater. When I made the Get Along sweater, it was about aliens who watched TV long after the human race had died and had crafted their society around wanting to be humans, even though they very much weren't. They all were like gelatinous forms with like no bones, and they all like shoved themselves into like meat suits. And it was all kind of this like recreation of like human emotion, which was just a little bit off, a little bit uncanny, which is also where like the humor in the Get Along sweater comes with. Like it comes in the form of that kind of like uncanny recreation of just like kind of human ephemera and like human nature that one would collect from TV and movies, which was it was largely inspired by how I grew up, how I felt growing up, was that I'd like repeat phrases from like movie and TVs that I had like memorized and like I'd integrate into normal conversation because I really didn't know how to like talk to people as a kid. I still kind of don't. but it would always like come out as this like weird uncanny thing where people wouldn't know all the time that I was quoting movies, but it didn't sound like a child was like talking to you. It sounded like a Indiana Jones was talking to you, but like you didn't know it was Indiana Jones. And so yeah, the world that's what the get along sweater, that's the world it belongs in. It has since changed into a new body of work, but that's where its origins lay, and it's very near and dear to my heart, even if I'm not working on it anymore.
Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful explanation. So, how has the pandemic affected you and your practice as an artist?
I've been doing a lot more digital work, which I used to be very anti-digital work. I used to be like, I want to do like traditional work. If I'm gonna do comics, I'm gonna do them by hand. I'm gonna be like Daniel Close and I'm gonna make a really big, really popular comic, or be really amazing illustrator. I'm gonna use light boxes and there's gonna be papers upon papers upon papers. But I downloaded Procreate over the pandemic because, you know, I decided it was time to get acquainted with like a easy to use like illustrating program because it's something I wanted to get better at. And I really discovered the importance of style in illustration, in digital illustration. I've had a lot of time, like over a year, to really hone in on like the techniques I like in digital illustration, stuff that makes my digital illustrations look like physical illustrations, um, and like the nature of serial media and like how to recreate like old fashioned like serial media in a new digital format has just been really, really fun, honestly. And I think fun's really important in a pandemic.
Definitely. I so agree with that sentiment. And I'm so happy that you found a new art medium to work in during the pandemic. I think that's super important to keep up your practice, even if it has to shift from what you're used to. And I'm excited to see more of your work and more of your digital art. So you can find more of Garner's work at Magpie Deer Die on Instagram. And thank you so much for your time, Garner. We're looking forward to seeing more of your art. And thank you so much for the interview.
It was great to be interviewed. It's lovely. It was fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. Bye.